Hi Shanti, Professor Ball here. How's it going? So we're going to look at paper number 3 today. And I look at MLA format, so Turner 1, your name, then it's my name. So your name, my name, the class and the date. And then you have your own creative title, which is good. You do have extra spacing here and here, and everything here needs to be double spaced, and I'm not seeing that with your work. But let's get on with the paper. The story of 2 men killed because of their involvement with Playboy Sandy Bentley. She used men to her advantage for money and fame. In Playing with Fire, the video segment broadcasted on Dateline about how Sandy Bentley was known as one of the 3 girlfriends of Hugh Hefner, and which her twin sister Mandy was part of. Sandy Bentley, while with Hugh Hefner, Bentley, while with Hugh Hefner, was dating financier Mark Yagala, and after he went to prison, she met Michael Tardio. The video explains how it's a cold case, and Dateline records their journey to discover who committed the crime. Okay, so one thing that I always look for is some type of background about the subject matter that you're addressing. And it could be about news magazines, it could be about Playboys, it could be about Hugh Hefner, it could be about people getting killed. But I'm writing the word here, contextualize, to explain what you need. The other thing is here you're just giving me background about the video, but I'm not seeing a thesis. In terms of rhetorical analysis, how does the journalist on Dateline make a convincing case or make it interesting? So the purpose of this documentary is to inform viewers about the murder mystery and how they gathered information to provide the 2 families closure. So here, since you talk about purpose, you could talk about purpose as part of your thesis. The purpose of this documentary is to inform viewers about the murder mystery and how they gathered information to provide the 2 families closure. Who is they? The people from Dateline? The journalists? You might want to mention that. Okay, the reporter Peter Van Zandt in the documentary used the evidence to try to help collect more information and conduct impromptu interviews with the people involved in the case. Peter Van Zandt had interviewed Detective Bill Cox, because of his level of involvement in the case, to make sure he discusses on camera the details of the case to the viewers. Detective Bill Cox said, "All my 20 years of working homicide, I never run into a case like this one." All right, so you are answering the prompt here, Shanti. You have purpose, which is great. But then you could also use this idea about interviews. And the rule of thumb for college writing is 1 idea per paragraph. So what you would do is a paragraph on the purpose and then a paragraph on the use of interviews. And I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the handout that I'm talking about is from Summary to Analysis. It's on the calendar and it is in your, okay, I can speak. Hold on. It's in the course calendar for an assignment. That handout is. It is also listed where the prompt is. So what I mean by that is the purpose is, and then you talk about the purpose, and then you would talk about, well, the significance of your example for the purpose. The next one's a little easier to explain. He uses interviews. Peter Van Zandt uses interviews. The use of interviews is important because blah, blah, blah. So you have 2 different things going on in this one paragraph. The documentary provides a level of suspense and obstacles to figure out the mysterious deaths of the 2 men and how Sandy Bentley is involved. The documentary is to inform the audience of the individuals' roles in the case. The police detective's point of view on what has occurred with Sandy Bentley's... Is this part of the sentence? The documentary is to inform the audience of the individual's role in the case, the police detective's point of view, and what has occurred with Sandy Bentley's lack of compliance in the case. Gaining knowledge of the 2 men that were killed in the jewelry deal gone wrong. All right. So one way that Van Zandt makes a good case is he shares the obstacles that detectives went through to solve the deaths, and it was done in a suspenseful tone, for example. So one paragraph could be about obstacles, one paragraph could be about suspense, and then your pie paragraph would be Peter Van Zandt illustrates the use of obstacles that detectives went through with court documents or talking to witnesses. This is important or significant because. All right. So then you get to the tone, and the tone can go in the thesis. He uses a tone that conveys drama. That could be in your thesis. The tone of the video conveys intense level of drama, mystery, and crime in the video. Peter Van Zandt takes the information from Detective Bill Cox and uses calm but concerning tone because of the morbidity of the crime that had occurred. Producer Chris O'Donnell was able to talk to one of the people involved in the crime. The name of Michael Jacobs spoke about how he felt about the crime that he was allegedly involved in, and he said, "I sleep very well at night." Probably comma regarding the deaths of Michael Tardio and Charles Munson, in which he implied that he had heavy knowledge of the case, but refused to cooperate. Okay, so that's okay, but you have your point, you have your illustration. Here you need the use of tone is important, or significance because. This use of tone is important, or this use of tone is significant. That would complete your paragraph. And then I said the tone would go in the thesis statement. All right. Okay, so now you have the journalist made his case through his use of experts of this murder mystery, through the police detectives and the two men involved. So here you are responding to the assignment. Well, how does he make his case? Well, he does it through the use of experts. For example, the importance of the experts help structure the information and how to proceed with lack of witness support and evidence to the possible individual who is behind the murder. And I'm going to back up a second. Was a part of how he went to prison, cold hard case. You never tell me about the case, so I guess Sandy Bentley killed these men? ? All right. To try to put the people responsible for the murder. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble speaking this morning, Shanti. For example, how the detective was puzzled with Sandy Bentley's lack of interest because she was in a relationship with the victim. To try and put the people responsible for the murders and put the people in jail responsible for the murders and face the consequences. The motives of Sandy Bentley and her interest in fame and money shows through the many clips of lack of empathy. Okay, so is it the use of experts or is it the video clips that show her lack of empathy? So you have 2 points here. You need to focus on one. All right. Throughout the video, or the video uses ominous music and sound, camera angles were close up and presented in many intimate interviews with the experts. So the ominous music and sound could be your point. You've already talked about the interviews. Also, the way Dateline, and this is italicized because it's the name of the TV show, also the way the Dateline segment presented itself through the determination to solve this mystery. Through the individuals connected to the case, due to the fact they didn't provide any help with the investigation, out the sure will, in the investigation, out the sure will of bringing people connected to the crime to justice. Shanti, take another look at that sentence. For instance, Sandy Bentley did not want to cooperate with police detectives unless it was for her own personal gain, which was to avoid any jail time and a witness in court, because through her actions, she was only out for herself. All right. This is important. The use of ominous music and sounds is important. The use of camera angles is significant. Again, you have 2 points here, and they should each should be in its own paragraph. Examining the video shows a lack of empathy of the individuals connected to the crime did not want to become involved. Also, Sandy Bentley ignoring reporter when asking questions about the murders and involvement, you can see her fear. The logical part of the video is 2 men were murdered because one of the victims, Michael Tardio, wanting to help his girlfriend, Sandy Bentley, with a new life, with the support of his best friend, Charles Munson, with him for security and support. The moral of the story is being careful who you get involved with romantically and business-wise, and how we don't ever really know anyone. All right. So I see you attempt to wrap it up talking about how the interviewer made his case, like the lack of empathy. But it really should be addressed, or you really should be mentioning the music and sound, the camera angles, experts, and tone. So you kind of have the right point, and then you don't. You have some paragraphs that have a point, but they don't have any explanations. So there's that. One thing that's missing is in the prompt itself, I tell you that you need to bring in a little bit of research on like murder cases or romantic relationships that go wrong. It was in the prompt. It's number 6. It's not in the video that I posted, but I did mention that a couple times that you need a little bit of research using the college's databases. So let's look at your works cited page. Okay, so it needs to go further up. Well, it needs to go on its own page. It's not going to let me do it here. Let me see if it'll let me do it. It's not going to let me do it. But if this is page 2, Turner page 3 would be Turner page 3, works cited, and then Van Zandt, Peter, Playing with Fire, Dateline 40, blah, blah. You got that. So this was the date it was done. You also need the date it was accessed. All right. So you are allowed to revise one paper this semester. This may be it. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.